Hoo-wee. We saw quite the little clippy poo from Creative Assembly coming out today. Only 50 seconds long, so it's a nice little drop to kind of give us a hint of stuff that's coming. We don't really know what it means. Is this Game 3 that we're going to be talking about? Is this a DLC for Game 2, the final one? And in this video today, we're going to go through that quick 50-second clip. I'm going to put a link in the description, so if you want to watch that in all of its like full volume glory in full screen, please by all means go ahead. I'm going to be turning down the volume on it, so you won't be able to hear it very much. I'm going to be pretty much talking over it the entire time anyway. But again, it's there if you so wish to watch it. And then we're going to go into the Warhammer RPG book, I think the second edition one, to talk about these star signs that were hinted at, or just they're overtly shown in that clip. So we'll just dissect what those could possibly be hinting towards and what it might mean towards what is going to actually be coming out, I guess. But let's start off with the actual clip that Creative Assembly released, and then we'll jump into the actual star signs itself. Okay, so we see that we're at the Grand Astrolabe in Altdorf as we sweep in with this Celestrial Astromancer, which would be different than an actual Celestial Wizard, at the helm of this viewfinder here. We jump in, and we get a little shady figure in the background, which we're going to talk about in a second. He looks up, and we get the Twin-Tail Comet, which is always going to be a sign of some things to come when it comes to Warhammer, as we well know. And then we start to get a formation, a star sign, and it is called Grungi Baldric, which is associated with soldiers, with dwarfs, and then with dimwits. So there's a lot of stuff in this video. So let's do some dissecting. Let's jump into the Warhammer RPG and look at the star signs as well as that shady figure in the background. And I think there's a lot to go off of, or at least enough to go off of by just looking at this picture. And one of the only other times I could imagine a gentleman with a short gray beard like that was from the Warhammer 1 trailer, right? When we see that guy who's clearly been corrupted and he turns and explodes and it's Sartoriel and it's Tzeentch, it's a greater demon. So I looked at the trailer again, and there isn't anything aside from a beard that stands out, and of course the Tzeentchian corruption. But then I looked at another character, one character that we've seen pretty heavily throughout Warhammer 1 and has come to be the voice of things in Warhammer 2, the narrator. Now, when we look at this picture of the narrator, I quickly grabbed it from the Sartoriel cinematic. We can see, of course, the same short gray beard, and there's one particular little piece that I want to draw attention to, and it is that little medallion on his chest below his brooch, which has like those little chains kind of coming down from it. We see a similar thing right behind the book on, look at this, I feel like I'm overly detectiving this and looking for for clues out of nowhere, but I'm just stoked on this. Like, I think that this might be possibly the narrator or something of the sort, that this might kind of give us a hint of the timeline that we're looking at here. And again, we don't really know, is this Game 2 DLC or is this Game 3, the first hint of Game 3? And we know that the typical kind of trend that Creative Assembly does, right? They give us a little teaser, then we get the trailer. So hopefully we will get a trailer tomorrow. I mean, this is a Friday and we don't typically see trailers on the weekends, so maybe we'll get that trailer on Monday. And if that's the case, and boom, Game 3 is just cracked wide open and we get all the goods right there. But it's exciting to see this because I think if I put these two side by side, you can hopefully see what I'm talking about between, okay, there's the little medallion on his chest in the Sartoriel cinematic, and it's the same one behind the book on the new teaser. And that book itself, I looked at, okay, is this the same book from the Warhammer 1 trailer? And it is not, but a very interesting thing with this robed figure. But let's now jump into some star sign action. Now, the RPG has this nice chapter on star signs and their meaning. So basically, if you're into zodiac stuff in the real world and think that that's actually real, you can actually find it in a fantastical world where it belongs. So let's go down to the actual star sign here. And there's plenty to go through across all of the other ones. But the one that we really want to look at is Grungi Baldric, the sign of martial pursuits, ascendant in late spring, early summer. So maybe that gives us a clue as far as what time of year it is. Appearance, a dwarf. with a Baldric, disciplined, honorable, skilled at arms. And then Grungi's Baldric is a sacred sign of reverence to dwarfs and soldiers. It signifies excellence at arms, skills in battle, and discipline. As such, many lords start their summer campaigns with a great feast beneath this constellation. Characters born under the sign tend to take soldiering very seriously. They fanatically hone their skills and live rigid lifestyles to toughen themselves. So, what is this hinting at? I have 4 big suspicions in my brain. Number 1, I think it's just right there, proof in the pudding, dwarfs. And I know that a lot of us, myself included, have speculated or at least talked about very heavily that dwarfs really didn't get the proper old world update that I think that they needed there. They still kind of lack a lot of the oomph of that a lot of the other races now have, especially considering their old world update. So is this dwarf related? Now, on that other opposite end of the coin for dwarfs, is it Chaos Dwarf related? Is this hinting at a Game 3 Chaos Dwarf mention? Now, taking a look at this from the angle of greater demons and demons of chaos, if we're thinking about Game 3, martial pursuits reminds me of Khorne. Khorne is the the most martial of all of the demons and, of the gods of chaos. So, is this hinting towards the beasts of chaos or beastmen and an old world update for them and their next DLC for Warhammer 2? Again, hopeful that they're in that DLC for Warhammer 2, including corn flavored gores and so on and so forth for that DLC. Or lastly here, is this a mention of chaos demons and Khorne chaos demons specifically with the sign of martial pursuits? I think that there's so much going on with this teaser, right? This is all taking place at the Grand Astrolabe. We have some pretty shady character in the background who has no real weight in the conversation of what's going on. That Astromancer's not talking to him. He looks to be like he might be the narrator from Game 1 that is also a part of Game 2, but dies in Game 1 and explodes in becoming Sartoriel. So there is... My brain's churning in a lot of different directions here. And I could it be dwarf and chaos dwarf related? I think that from the description here, that's pretty evident. But could it also be chaos related? And could we be talking about the Warhammer 2 DLC, or could we talk about Game 3? I think what this really comes down to is tomorrow or Monday. If we get a trailer tomorrow, then I think obviously we're going to find out what that trailer is, and I think it would probably be the Warhammer 2 DLC. If we get another teaser, I think that we can safely say that this is all leading up to a Game 3 reveal. It's a large, big, full game to be released. Why not drum up some excitement for as much as possible? And that maybe is more teasers to come. So I guess we'll see how this kind of plays out here. And I would love to get an idea of what you guys think here. I'm pretty hung on those 4 notions of dwarfs, chaos dwarfs, beastmen, or Khorne demons. But do you think that I'm totally off base here and it could be something else entirely? The constellation maybe has a different hint in it that I've just completely missed. And do you think that hooded person in the background is the narrator? I'm kind of stretching, or I'm really reaching on that to say it's the narrator, because I'm looking at the most vague piece of metal on a chest compared to another vague piece of metal on the narrator's chest. And I think this is it. The only other thing I have to go off of is the fact that he gets like some crazy chaos corruption and he has a short gray beard. It's really all I've got. So like I said, I'm reaching on that suspicion. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hopefully we can get a lot more going with this. I'm really stoked to see what if this could be. Is it Game 3? Is it that Warhammer 2 DLC? And I think a lot of you guys too are in that same boat. We want that next step. While the DLC would be great, I definitely am very ready for Game 3 and taking that big plunge. I have a lot of Game 3 speculation videos in my back pocket that I've been waiting to get out until we get that Game 3 announced. So hopefully this is that tip in the right direction. So hopefully we'll find out here tomorrow, Monday, whenever it is, if we get a trailer, if we get a whatever. But guys, as always, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun action. But let me know in the comments, what do you think's going on? And we'll find out in the next couple days, I guess, or whatever it is. But have a good one and take care.